Well, we're live. Peace and blessing, everybody. We're live again, you know. And like we say in Taino language, Moboika, welcome. Ituno kina atiaono. And I'm Rico in Italian. How do you welcome somebody? You say
Ciao.
bienvenido?
Ciao.
What? Ciao. I
Ciao.
thought that was goodbye, but I did bienvenido.
Ciao is hello and goodbye.
Great.
Ciao.
Well, let me do this introduction. We're gonna if any of those that saw the podcast before this, like I said, I apologize. You know, having those 30 minutes of working out technical issues. But
Yes,
again, like I said, Rico,
we're redoing it,
Yeah, we're redoing this. So I'm revisiting again, and so if you see us going too fast, well, we don't want to go in too fast, but we're going to revisit it again. Rico's going to lay out the detail, and also give us his historical background, And so I just want to say, welcome, my brother. How are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Great. The audio is good. Everything seems to be good here. And so let's start. Again, for well, I see that a lot of people are coming in now on this particular podcast, so that's good. Again, I won't be able to see it on Facebook, your comments, but like I said, those who subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll be able to chat with you on YouTube. So I wanted to start again, and to start with, what instruments do you play? You dedicate yourself to? That's the first question.
I'm a guitarist. Started when I was 7 years old. My parents went to Canary Islands. I always loved music because we had music, all around the family. Everybody listened to music all the time.
Right.
I brought back a nylon string acoustic guitar from the Canary Islands. Cheap little guitar made in Spain, but that's when I started. But I really started taking keyboard lessons when I was 10 and got my first electric when I was 13. And that's when things got quite a bit more serious. But I always wanted to play. I always wanted to be able to play from when I was very young, as long as I can remember.
All right. And you did mention last time that you still have that nylon guitar, right?
Yeah, it's right over there.
That's interesting. That's great, man. I mean, I can see it one day. Rico Monaco Museum artifact. That is wonderful. That's wonderful. So in your family history, you did mention that your grandfather was a opera singer. Tell us about that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just, don't mind my eyes. I'm here trying to share this with people so that they come on. My grandfather is some little town called San Bartolomeo in Galdo in Italia, which is near Naples, about 2 hours east in the mountains. Some of my cousins are on my Facebook page, and see if I can invite some of them.
Sure.
Yeah, he was an opera singer, and he sang in the choir behind Enrico Caruso, and that's where my name comes from. Because he loved Caruso, and so I'm a junior though. My dad was Enrico as well, and so he was fighting in the Italian army in Tunisia, Africa. Was the bugler in the infantry, and then came to America, and that's where he. My parents were born in the Bronx, or raised in the Bronx. My dad was actually born in Hell's Kitchen, but in New York City, and then they moved to Connecticut, and that's where I was born. So my grandfather, just to let you know, he wasn't famous or anything, but he was pretty serious about it, and he got gassed when he came to America. He ended up fighting for the American army over in France, and he got gassed, mustard gas, and he lived, but he couldn't really continue his career. He tried for a while, but I have that legacy, and I have a lot of his 78s and everything like that he left.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a great historical background. It's good that you're connected like that.
Accordion that we used on one of our CDs, Luna Salerno. In Italy, handmade. I still have it. It's wooden. It's probably from 1890 or so. And
you got to get more recording of that.
I used it on one of the CDs, the artwork on Luna Salerno.
Nice. Nice. So, where were you born again? Because we're revisiting the podcast.
I was born in a town called Derby, Connecticut. That's where the hospital was. I was raised across the river in a town called Shelton, Connecticut, which is southern Connecticut near Bridgeport, really 60 miles from Manhattan. You know, when they start moving out, as you know, people move out of the Bronx, Queens. They go to either Jersey, upstate New York, Long Island, or Connecticut. And, you know, my dad became an engineer, and the company he worked for, Sikorsky, was in Stratford, Connecticut. Right. So we were in Connecticut till I was 15.
So during this time that you was in Connecticut, about 15, you started getting serious with the guitar, you know?
Yeah.
So what influenced you to get into the guitar? You know, whether it's particular artists or condition, you know, environment. I mean, I knew you grew up with the musical environment in your household, but
and then I mean, the music. My dad loved jazz and swing. He played some trumpet, but you know, growing up in the Bronx, he was going out. He loved to swing dance, and he could really swing dance, you know. And so I had that music blaring in our house, jazz and swing, all the greats, Woody Herman and the Dorsey Brothers, of course, Sinatra and Tony Bennett, all the singers, but he liked the guys that could play, like, you know, Harry James and Al Hurt and Doc Severinsen and all, you know, and he would talk about the musicians. But then my siblings were all older than me, and they were listening to all the 50s and 60s rock and roll. And one of my sisters went out with a drummer, and he introduced me to all kind, like the Stones and Hendrix, but then also was playing like Zappa for me, Frank Zappa. And, you know, stuff I couldn't stand. I was a little kid, but I really appreciated, you know, the simpler rock and roll. And then he was playing fusion for me, like General Beck stuff and Mahavishnu Orchestra. But Chuck Berry is the reason why I started playing the guitar. Like 20 million other people.
Yeah, that's right.
The first rock and roll guitar, you know, and so that just grabs you. He was an amazing artist. So that's why.
For our viewers, our young viewers, you definitely have to Google Chuck Berry and revisit those, you know, those clips. You know, they have a lot of video clips, you know, so you can see, you know.
Yeah, he had basically the great 28 an album, you know, 28 hit songs. And the Beatles and the Stones, you know, half of their sound comes from Chuck Berry. And, you know, Chuck Berry got stuff from T-Bone Carr, you know, T-Bone Walker, they all, you know, we all learned from other people, but he was an amazing composer, performer, you know, groundbreaking, you know, just and great guitar player, in my opinion.
So I know that you mentioned that before you started playing, you was kind of like on a managing aspect of music, you know, managing Al Cheeks. Shout out to Al Cheeks, you know.
Al
Cheeks. Yes. I keep putting the S on it. I'm sorry. But yeah, Al Cheeks. Yeah, Rico, no, I butcher names.
He does the same thing. That's why I love you guys. So Al Cheek grew up in Connecticut up the street from me, and he's a great drummer from when we were young. I was just learning.
Big Shirley, right? He was drummer for Big Shirley.
Yeah, no, he ended up being the lead singer of a band in Orlando years later, in the 90s, called Big Shirley. And they were very popular in downtown Orlando, back in Sapphire Supper Club. Anyway, he was a great drummer, very good from when we were like 11, 12. I was learning the guitar, so him and I, you know, everybody played music or sports when we were growing up. I mean, that's all you did. You played music, sports, or academics, or you did all three. So I was always an organizer. I organized the street football team, street hockey team. And so, you know, I did the same thing. I wanted to have a band before I could really even play. And ever since then, really, since I was always putting the band together or had a band together since I was, you know, like 12, 13.
Wow.
You know, I'd say there's like 1 year where I didn't have a band going since then. So it's quite a few years. So yeah, organizing and learning about the business to be able to play and do what you love. I felt like this is what I had to do. And I've learned the skills. It's not easy though. Managing it and getting it going is tougher than becoming proficient on your instrument. You know, in my opinion.
And we'll discuss a little bit more about the musical business part of it. But I wanted to ask you about your first band that you formed. I know it was you showed me the album cover. You still had the album cover, Warning. How did that come about? You know, the whole Warning.
Well, you know, so we left Connecticut, and I had a band going with Al and my other friends, Greg Pryor on guitar and Chip Bell on bass. They had a going away party for me when I moved, right at the beginning of my sophomore year. We played at that. It's like our first real gig besides other little parties. And then moved to South Florida, Port St. Lucie. Had to go to high school in Fort Pierce Central. Anybody out there listening from Fort Pierce Central? And I immediately got a band going. I met a guy first day of school. That afternoon, I'm jamming with a bunch of guys, Terry and Mike and Rich.
I met Terry. I think I met Terry. He came to one of our.
Yeah, Terry. So by the end of high school, we won a battle of the bands. We got pretty good by the time we got out of high school, and so that band was called Warning. Mike and Terry, Terry Clark, Mike Trainer, and we had keyboard players in and out. And we were traveling and playing, and quit college because we got on a Miller High Life Rock to Riches Talent Search album. Nice. When I was like 18, and then we were traveling and playing the circuit in the Southeast, playing 5 to 7 nights a week back then. 4 to 6 sets a night. That's busy.
Yeah. That's a busy schedule.
We were playing, and we were playing Van Halen and the Police and Santana, of course, and tried to play Rush, and we were doing some Jeff Beck and even a little bit of Frank Zappa. Wow. So it was very challenging, and I was practicing all the time, and we were writing songs, and we were also playing other people's songs. Always been into writing and creating before I could play. So wow. So anyway, that band ended up getting a deal with Barry White's manager, a guy named Tony Seppi, and he flew us out to L.A. We recorded out there. Lionel Richie was in the same studio. Crystal Gale.
How old were you again? This was when in your early years, right? A teenager.
Yeah, I was like 20. I was 20.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big deal, And we were hanging out with Barry White, Jermaine Jackson,
nice,
and all the great studio musicians at studios. So that was great, and we had an opportunity. The band did pretty good, but things break up. I moved back up north and hooked up with Al, and we hooked up with a producer named Paul Lecca, who you know about.
Paul Lecca. Oh yeah.
And Paul produced, discovered Harry Chapin, produced Harry Catch the Cradle, discovered REO Speedwagon. Right. Their first 2 albums, and his first big hit song was Green Tambourine, and then Nah Nah Hey Hey Kissin' Goodbye. He was one of the writers, plus a bunch of other stuff. So I worked with him for about 5 years, and Al and I played a lot of shows in New York City, and we opened for Blue Oyster Cult at Toad's Place in New Haven. Nice. And so that was, and then I moved into Manhattan and studied, as living in New York. You're from New York, from the Bronx, and I, you learn how good you have to be.
New York is another animal.
Talent is just amazing. So that was really good. Yeah.
Talent.
So that first band, Warning, led to my band in Connecticut, which we called Monaco. And so I was up there for about 10 years before I came back to Florida.
So that group Warning was the catalyst. That's what catapulted you. That's what put you on that path. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with professional. Now I remember Paul Lecca. You put him on the phone with us because I think he wanted to record those soul songs at one time. But I understood where you was coming from, being that the music business, and a lot of people don't know that, for those of you inspired to be a musician, I kind of like froze, right?
Huh? No,
my screen froze. I'm still fine. For me, I just froze here. But I see it over here. Okay, and a lot of times, like REO Speedwagon, and a lot of times, with musicians, if you are creating a lot of music, and you have to be careful because when you get a producer, and you sign these deals. I remember some of the deals that he was putting on the table. You was like, wait a minute, you didn't want us to be like those one hit wonders. You know what I'm saying? Not to speak bad about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We felt we had. Yeah. So we went on to the day. But Paul Lecca, a good guy. I think he wanted to take us up to the Colgate mansion, right?
Yeah.
The famous Colgate mansion to record.
Yeah, it's a little back history there. That was I was working with him, and I moved back to South Florida, and had to move either Miami or Orlando to try and make a living as a musician, right? So I came to Orlando. Immediately started auditioning people. I auditioned Dimas Sanchez, who you interviewed the other day, the percussionist. We call him professor because he's a professor, actually, of computer science. And and also just knows Latin jazz and Latin rhythms,
Exactly.
So he was the first guy I auditioned. Then I auditioned over 700 people over the next 2 years. And like I said, you were number 698, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'm putting that on a T-shirt, matter of fact.
I reformed Rico, Monaco, and Soul Sons, this Latin rock type thing, a mixture of style, similar to Santana, but it's really our own thing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So within a couple of years of being here, things started to roll, and Paul Lecca was very interested and wanted to sign us. And so, yeah, he was going to bring us up north to record an album, but my attorney in New York City tore apart that 33-page contract.
That's right. Remember,
we ended up doing it independently. That first album, Rico, Monaco, and Soul Sons.
And that's the album that when I spoke to Dimas, I mean, and it's true, that album was really what really put the band, that particular group of guys. We went on to do some really great things. It was also started us, to do some great things on that first album. Again, if those who are interested, we'll at the later on in the podcast we'll mention all the Spotify, we'll mention all the sites. I even put it on the banner here, for you. But after the Soul Sons, so let's talk about some of the experiences. So we worked with Tito Puente Jr. We became his international band, and now you still to this day still work with Tito. But how did how was the managing of that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you introduced me to Tito, so
right.
You were playing percussion. We had we had a 7-piece band, and then when we would add horns, it would be 9 or 11. And so we were starting to get known in Orlando, and we were starting to do a little bit of traveling, and
that's right.
And we just practiced, as you know. We rehearsed like crazy, and you guys helped me learn more about the Latin rhythms that I was trying to use, the Afro-Cuban rhythms. We talk about that movie Calle 54, which is Tito in it and all the other all the other greats in it. That, if anybody wants to learn about Latin rhythm, New York style, but they talk about the history there in that movie called Calle 54. So we got things rolling. Things were starting to roll, and we were getting ready to record that first album. After we walked away from the deal with Paul, we were going to record it ourselves, and then you introduced me to Tito at the Groove, I think, at Universal City Walk. He was up there. You guys are doing some kind of promotion. And then he called and said, "Hey, man, could you guys back me up, at Epcot Center for New Year's Eve, 2000 to 2001. And so we did. And remember, it was 29 degrees at midnight when we were on stage.
Yes, very, very cool.
Tito had a manager then who was a handful, and Tito, we were all, it was a big band, and it was a great experience, and we killed it. It was 29 degrees at midnight. We were out there playing. But that led to a lot of gigs. As you know, we went to San Francisco, played the Black and White
Great
Ball.
gig, great venue, great festival event.
Yeah, and we were on the Latin stage, but we had, Shaka Khan was she was on another stage, and they were trying to bring her to play Oye Como Va with us. And Tito's manager telling me, we're playing Ram Can Can, Ram Can Can, right? Remember? And he said, from the side to say, stretch it.
Stretch it from the side of the stage.
He's
yelling at
Shaka Khan's coming. She wants to do Oye Como Va, and she's way on the other side of this, downtown.
Yeah, she was on the other side because that stage had Kuna Gang, Chaka Khan, all of the R&B artists, and it was so packed. I mean, I don't know how she was going to get there.
But he's telling me to stretch Ran Can Can, so we're going to do Oye Como Va next, which is Tito and our big song, right?
Yeah, signatures.
So we stretch and stretch. She didn't show up, and we end the song. And that was it. We had to stop. We never got to play.
I know you was really pretty heated about that because you said, "Wait a minute, this is our closing. How you gonna this is our closing. How you gonna not close?"
Yeah, that's. Yeah. But then we went to Paris and played the Mundo Latino Festival.
Yeah. And I remember that. And so so. You one thing I appreciate about you, one thing that I learned a lot is the music business aspect, and I saw that. That's the reason why, when the idea was, when Tito approached me with the idea, I said, Rico, that's the man. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew, the manager he was dealing with, whatever. I didn't want to be caught up in that. So I said, if anybody who could put this in order, anybody who can really, protect us, put us in order, and make sure we got everything done, will be Rico Monaco, because I was already playing with you.
Yeah.
With you. But I remember that in Paris, we had Jazz Hamilton with us. And, Jazz Hamilton, that's from a different school. And he started complaining because, again, with you, one thing I loved about playing with the Soul Sons is where every city we visited, we always ate really good. You always seeked out the best restaurants, and we had good.
Italian, you got to eat well.
Yeah, right. You got to eat well, and accommodations, the hotel, everything was done. But when we did the whole Paris thing, there were certain things that fell short, and I know because you didn't, there were so many other things he was handling. He was handling everybody. Yeah, especially Jazz Hamilton was a.
Well, I was handling the musicians. But Tito's manager and Tito were responsible for the logistics, But now it was quite 17 people on stage with the dancers.
Right, that's right.
Quite a bit to manage, but the good thing is all that management and getting, when we got on the stage, though, man, it was always electric, and it still is. I mean,
worth it. Exactly.
That's where it pays off for me. That's why I'm willing to do the grunt work, so to speak. But if you want to play a lot or do something special that's your own, that's not. A cover band or a tribute band, you got to put in the time and the effort, and you got to sacrifice. So it's worth it.
I think that concert in Paris came before us even recording the Soul Sons, because I remember Cayuco. When you did Cayuco with Tito Puente, and then with the guitar, the solo was. I mean, I seen the reaction of the people. It was just like, wow! It was just a crazy response, and that really, you say, yo, wait a minute, so when we recorded at Cayuco, you included that in there, and that was really smart, very good.
Yeah, I mean, look, playing with Tito is an honor. Tito Jr. And his dad had just passed away when we first hooked up with him. So
that's right.
We remember the Mundo Latino Festival with him. It was 15,000 people in Paris to see Tito Jr. That's how much they respect Jazz and Tito and Puente in Paris. But I had to dig into his music. Of course, I heard it, but we had to do our own versions, our rock Latin versions of this with horns, trap drum set, percussion, guitar. There was no guitar in his music. So some of the songs, as you know, El Cayuco, we created this drive and groove. But it's what he wrote that we were able to, arrange. But I remember when the first night we played that at Epcot, me and Tito, I was doing the solo, and the band was kicking on the solo. We had that drive going, and him and I were jumping up and down together. And 2 months later, we were in the studio recording it. And that's recording that. We just redid it with horns last year. And you're still on percussion on that one. And it's just, whenever we play it live, I mean, the guy just wrote some great songs, great arrangements. So we were beneficiary of that. And Tito Jr. is on a lot of our records since,
Well, Tito, with the conversation I had with Tito, he had this fondness. He just had this love for rock music, because when I first met Tito, actually he was drumming with a rock band. We were trying to get him out of that. But and that works perfectly because Tito, his love for rock, he understands it. He comes from that school, rock school, and then getting together with a band like this who was able to take that elements and put it into the Latin stuff, the Latin rock. He
had the experience,
the right combination,
growing up with his dad, and he was, he could tell his own story, but obviously, well versed.
He did.
In the Latin world, I mean, he has the charisma of his father. He looks like him,
he does.
He has the charisma. He's great on stage, and we work well together.
And to this day, you're still working with him. I heard that Hey Tito. I wasn't on there, but you used Jessie Caravello, and I think he did the percussion arrangements on that, and that was awesome. Good
Yeah,
work.
we did a group. Now we do singles. We're not doing full records. I mean, I got a bunch of my recordings here, and they're on.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that with the band, with the guys you got now. We're going to shine some light on that. But now let's move on to the hard rock. We got featured a lot on hard rock. We did hard rock with Tito Puente, but then our bands ourselves, the Rico Monaco, and I remember, I even took a picture of the big marquee, Rico Monaco and So Son. So we did a lot of stuff at the Hard Rock and Universal, featured on the Hard Rock, that big stage. So put us when there was a contest or a call for bands to get national
bands, yeah.
Exactly. Take us there. I mean, well, how do you
how do we make that happen?
Yeah. Well, you made it happen, really. I mean, I was just at that time I was just going on for the ride. But yeah, you made that one happen.
Well, no, we did as a band. We we had a lot of momentum at that time. And what happened in 2002, after we played with Tito, our record came out, and then right after we went to Paris, our record just came out. 9/11 hit. Okay, so everything kind of slowed down. But by the next summer,
it's gonna be 20 years ago. Wow.
That's when things were happening. That summer, we went to New York City with Tito.
That's right.
We were doing gigs on our own and with him, and then we came back from New York and we played a great gig for WLOQ, the jazz station here in Orlando. Even though we were more of a rock mix, obviously, with Latin and jazz.
But we had the ability to go into that jazz.
No, their audience just loved us. They were more of a smooth jazz station, but their audience loved us. But anyway, then we had a great show when we got back from New York. Remember, we rushed to the stage because we got stuck in Atlanta all night.
We
landed and
tired. We was like, oh man.
Stage, and it was.
But when you love music,
a lot of CDs, and then the owner of the station started playing. He said he heard the song and he told the guys at the station. They called me the next day and said, Mr. Gross wants this song on the air. Elena Mi Cariño.
Elena Mi Cariño. That's right.
You got to check that song out. And twice a day or so. It was
right. That's awesome. Right.
So anyway, that was 2002, and right after that, Hard Rock called and they said we got this contest called Battle of the Bands, called Cabo Wabo Tequila, which is Sammy Hagar from Van Halen. It's in his own right famous as well. It says Tequila Company and Hard Rock. We're doing this national Battle of the Bands in like 13 cities across the country. We wanted to enter it because we were doing real well when we would play Hard Rock on our own, with other bands opening and stuff. And so I said, we're a little old for Battle of the Bands, and I said, well, Cabo Wabo Tequila Sammy, all right, let's do it. Right. So, we competed against some of the best bands in Florida here, and we ended up winning after a couple nights of playing. People voted for us. They put our song, which you and I wrote with Pete, the keyboard player, Pete Buddenbaum, great musician, great friend. And I wrote a lot of good music together. Lena. Yeah. The song is called Tell Me, if anybody wants to check it out. It's a Latin rock mix, and you were one of the writers. You wrote the lyrics on that, and we worked together. That song just kicks. Like the writer said in, I think it was Orlando Weekly, Mark Padgett, he said, this song drives like Tiger Woods, So that song got put up after we won. Each band from the different cities, their song got put up on the Hard Rock website, and people voted for a week. And the three top vote getters were the finalists. And I thought, okay, we're done, because these other bands are from Chicago, Houston, New York, Boston, LA. They got to be great, plus their audience. Well, we were one of the three finalists, and the recordings got sent to Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony and three other record execs. Tom Consolo, who's a big manager now and worked for Azoff. They voted. They picked us. So as here we are. I think a week later, we're flying to Cabo to open for Sammy.
That's right.
And you can ask me what happened when we got there.
Yeah. I mean, that was like you said, that was a momentum. We was just, and that comes from being prepared also. I mean, because the rehearsal, the way we used to rehearse and really want to get everything down. As a matter of fact, we did. You suggested that we do 2 of Sammy's songs to get ready because you wanted to get Sammy on that stage with us. He just gotta be on that stage with us, and that was wonderful. We did Black and Blue.
Yeah, you remember we were at rehearsal and everybody's exhausted because we had no time, but we were tight because we'd been playing and we rehearsed, and you guys made that happen with me. It wasn't, because the band was ready and we rehearsed more. That's why success. When preparation meets opportunity, you have success. So you had a lot to do with it, and everybody else in the band. But I kept us late at rehearsal, and I said, "Let's learn a Sammy song, a solo song called 'I Don't Need Love.'" And then a song called Black and Blue by Van Halen. And everyone's like, oh, he's not going to get on stage with us. I said, well, I heard he's a nice guy. Let's see what happens. So I hear anything happens at Cabo. So we stayed at rehearsal. Everybody was exhausted. And we worked on Black and Blue. And we added a Latin 6/8 jam, which is, a certain rhythm.
At the end of it.
The song, because it worked. So
beautiful.
When we met him in Cabo, remember, they asked us to play the first night by ourselves. Smash Mouth was going to play the next night with us, and then Sam Smash Mouth, all 3 of us, the next night. And they said, yeah, we'll play. They gave the house band the night off, and you remember, we just crushed it.
Crushed it. People were just. I remember the women throwing themselves on the stage, and people were just all over the stage. Man, we were like, "Whoa!" Well, it was just
what it was
electrified.
Yeah, we remember we're in Mexico. And this club is Sammy Hager's club, Cabo Wabo Cantina, a great place. But it's rock. They're playing all rock and pop stuff, the house band and Sammy. And we show up, and all the people that work there are Mexicans. Yeah. We show up sounding like this Latin Santana-ish rock band, and that's their groove, So they loved it, and so he heard that we killed it. The next night he showed up, and we met him, and he said,
and that's on video. For those who know, that's on video. It's on the Rico Monaco page, right? Rico Monaco band page.
The YouTube
video
and the Facebook.
And you can hear it.
Well, when
Sammy says when we meet him, right? We recorded all of that, and I remember him saying, "Hey, listen, I sat down, we listened to these CDs, but I heard your CD, the first song, I was like, okay. Second song, I said, whoa, and the third song." I gotta have these guys. They're in.
Yeah, buddy, you're misremembering that a little bit. If you watch the video, he said I got the first 2, the other 2 bands first. Their recordings, and he said, "I'm listening," and then I got your CD, and he said within 30 seconds, he said, "That's the If band." Right?
That's it.
Because our CD was killer. We had spent time and money.
You had George Spada was engineer.
Oh yeah, great engineer and great studio here. We spent a lot in the studio, and it makes a difference when you have some backing and you put time into things.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
I immediately said to him, the band's there and we're all excited, and he's loved us and was very complimentary, and of course we're complimentary to him. And I said, we learned a couple of your songs, and he was like, "What? Oh, okay. And which ones?" And I told him. He said, "Oh my God, all right." And he said, "That's what he said. When you get done with your set tonight, don't introduce me. Go into the song Black and Blue he wanted to do." He said, "We'll keep the other one on ice." He said, "Don't introduce me and go into it." And we didn't know if he was going to show up, but then once he said,
starts walking down those stairs.
Before that, I turn around and you guys are all like, "Oh crap, man, we better go over the song because we were not prepared." So man, it was that the whole song is on video.
Magical.
Yeah, and we're fortunate we got that, but it's led to a lot of other stuff. He's been great to the band and to me since then.
Exactly. So you were working also with his brand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cabo Wabo Tequila back there.
Tequila, and the beach rum
shows.
We used to get gifts of rum, 2 bottles. I remember for Christmas, we got the 2 bottles of rum.
It was amazing. They were really good to us. And at our shows, all the shows, we helped increase the sales in Central Florida. They told me 150% the next year.
Wow.
Of course, they had a promotion team, but we were doing big shows. And so, of course, that made me happy. And he sent a lot of it to me. And then he sold that company for quite a bit of money. And as a lot of people know, and he started Sammy's Beach Bar Rum. And so he asked me to help promote that. And so we're still promoting that when we can. He doesn't need me to promote it, but we open a lot of shows. He invited me to Chicago to play with him. He's had the band open shows, as you know, at Hard Rock and Ruth Eckerd Hall and Sunfest. And we just opened Dr. Phillips a year ago for Sammy and the Circle with Michael Anthony.
That's right.
Who's another, tremendous guy and always nice to me when they see us, and it's been a great relationship.
We even went on tour. Remember the South Florida tour? We went to Echo Hall.
Eckerd, yeah.
Eckerd Hall.
Well, first and Hard Rock Orlando.
Hard Rock Orlando.
Yeah, opening the show. And then we went to Ruth Eckerd Hall and then Sunfest.
And the Sunfest, right? Paramore was at the other stage. And we're at the Sun. That was a great, great concert. I mean, and for the viewers, for the musicians that's watching, a lot of this stuff, it's, the behind the scenes it's a business. That's how important it is for musicians, for bands to also, brand. The brand is very important to partner up, what I'm saying, with brands and stuff like that. We were fortunate enough that we had Sammy, who's also a business mongol too,
Oh, he's an entrepreneur, yeah.
Entrepreneur, what I'm saying? And,
great art, a great rock singer, one of the best rock singers, and has an amazing career.
Right. And I think they even teach at a university. I remember taking music classes at NYU and in a section. I wasn't too invested in that. I was more in the music technology section, but I remember the music business was part you had to study that.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it's part of branding. That's music. It's part of branding, and you had a natural ability to do that. I see. From what you told us from your early upbringing, and how you were able to use that those skills. Harness those skills, and that's great.
Well,
great work.
Well, I appreciate that. I think it's more just desire, and I have some natural organizational skills. But it's really because I just want it so bad that I just. But
that's part of it.
You have to want it so bad that you're.
Yeah, you have to
sacrifice and go through the big ups and downs.
Yeah.
People talk about someone has natural ability with music and this and that. Yeah, some people are born. They have their whole family. Their father, mother plays an instrument. A lot of the best musicians are that way. Their family, so they grow up conditioned from 0 to 1, 2, 3. They start playing when they're young, but. It's more about desire than anything else. There's a lot of people with talent who never use it. It's just, it takes a lot of work to do anything that's, it's not just music. It's any business. You got to put in the time, anything valuable, right?
Prosperity. Yeah. Anything when you study, the prosperity, those courses and prosperity and stuff like that, that's one of the main principles is desire. You gotta have desire. You saying? You speak to all the entrepreneurs, everything, the desire has to be there. But also, the respect also has to be there. This is perfect because I've done a podcast about seeding, the spiritual part of music. And how you have an idea and you seed it, and you have to have certain things have to work in place. In order to see that idea, you got to have the right studios, you got to have the right musicians. Everything has to click, and that's what I was able to see with the Soul Sons. Rico Monaco, with Rico Monaco and the Soul Sons. You're able to see this. The seating and the environments were right. And of course, the finance helps a lot. That's part of it. When you deal with seating, Yeah. And that's very important. So, and you still keep in contact with Sammy Hagar. I know that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We're it's a business relationship, but a musical relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly. You've traveled and actually, and done work, you travel when Sammy a certain place and been on that big stage, I'm saying, to help them out and whatever. So that's huge, man.
Yeah, we've done a lot of good things and, gives us credibility, and then playing with Tito Jr.
Tito Jr. too. And that's branding too, because that name is an icon, you know what I'm saying? In the world, in the jazz world and in the Latin world.
In the Latin world,
that's an icon. Who doesn't know? You can go in Italy, you can go to Germany, you can go in Japan and mention Tito Puente. It's the first thing they're going to mention when they mention, Spanish artists. Tito Puente, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the impact.
It's really interesting that we hooked up with Sammy and Tito, and it's like that's what we do is we bring the rock and the Latin jazz together,
Yeah.
And so, we don't always hit the mark, man, but we're trying to do something unique and original. Yeah, it sounds a little like Santana, but it's really our New York, Florida mix with, all our influences. I mean, everybody in the band, it's like a school, when different musicians in the band. And when you first joined, that band stayed together 5 years, 7 people, except for one change.
Wow.
That's extremely difficult. Unless you become even famous bands with a lot of money, So managing a band and keeping it going is the hardest part of the business. Becoming a good guitar player, I mean, is not easy, but keeping things going and managing people in any business is challenging. But again, the love, the passion for it is what keeps me going. And I've been fortunate to make some of these good things happen. And I'm a professional instructor too. I teach so that I can play the music I want to play.
We're going to share some of that.
Change my tail and play covers and tributes. And although we play other people's music, we do it our way. And our show is more of like a concert original show. It's not, we're not trying to be the biggest club band in Orlando or anything. We like playing, some venues, but as more festivals and concerts. That's what the band is made for. That's the sound. But of course, Santana, Van Halen, the Police, and Rush were my big influences from high school, along with B.B. King and Jeff Beck, and just keep naming them. The Beatles, Stones.
That's important. Yeah, that's for the young musicians coming up now, man. You gotta look back at these artists, man, that really paved the way for a lot of us here.
Yeah. I mean, it's carrying on a tradition and trying to create something new. To me, the best music is created from trying to mix styles, and that's I try. Don't always hit the mark, but we've been fortunate to get some airplay, be on TV in the area, and do some traveling, and what's better than that, man? Playing music. We've remember when we played in DC, in Virginia, but right outside of DC, and then Salt Lake City was a big, huge show.
Oh, that was a huge show. That was Feliciano. I'm sorry.
Jose Feliciano.
Yeah, Jose Feliciano, man. How can I, fumble that one? Jose Feliciano, man. As a matter of fact, we did one of his songs. You also met Jose Feliciano.
Yeah, a friend of mine who was helping me out a little. He managed today, so yeah, I got to spend some time, and we did a song of his that he had never recorded called Crazy Heart. It's on one of the albums, and all the albums are available. It's a Latin rock mix. We lean a little more Latin at times, a little more rock, depending on, what's going on. Music is life. So you follow your path and do your best. And, people ask, how are musicians surviving in this? How's anybody surviving? There's this COVID-19 situation, but go online and share the music and listen,
Exactly.
Just, let the music play. And even though we don't get much money when it streams, recording and putting out music is it's the hardest thing to do. Producing, as you're a writer, I'm a writer. We've written together, but finishing the product, finishing and recording it, getting the financing for that so it sounds decent. Because you could do it in your house, but unless you're a great engineer, it's not going to sound great. So I do the best I can, and then doing the artwork and promoting it and distributing it, around the world the best you can. I have a distributor, thank God now, but does digital.
That's who the CDA, the publisher.
Yeah, Ivan Alvarez. Yeah, great guy.
Alvarez. That's right.
So, but the point is that it's not hard to pick out a great song that's already a hit, and be a cover band. And I mean, I appreciate great cover bands, and if that's what you want to do, great. And we do a lot of covers our own way, but a tribute band. But it's a whole different story to try and create. That's what we were saying about Eddie Van Halen passing away. There's people that can play faster and this and that, but he created all that music. He was the pioneer of that style of guitar playing. Of course, he learned from other people, Clapton and Jeff Beck and everybody else. But that's the hardest thing, is writing, creating, producing, and then getting out and playing shows, keeping a band together and selling the music and pushing the band, So I'm very proud.
So let me ask you this, because this just crossed my mind. Are there any ritual? What does Rico Monaco do rituals when you start to create your, you get in the studio and the song, is there a particular ritual that you go through? Is there something that you notice that you do that has to be right? I know, like for instance, when I was recording with you, dimming the light, making sure that the environment is right, so people light up candles. Is there any rituals that you do to get your mojo flowing?
Mojo.
Of course, that's decent that we can talk about.
Yeah, no. Well, as far as writing or recording,
both. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the people ask, how do there's some people that don't understand how you create, right? But people say, I don't understand, because I teach and I have people ask me that, and it's
right.
really, it's you don't know, you either have that kind of skill, it just kind of comes to you, but then you have to develop it. But for me, it's a spiritual thing. It comes through me. But when I pick up the guitar, and there's sometimes I have a whole workout routine that I've developed, but I could be playing for 5 minutes when I pick it up, and I can feel the creative juices are just flowing. And I'll record my ideas. Now I record them on my phone, and and so it's not. There's no one way. So, when we were on stage, sometimes I would light some incense. I saw Santana doing that.
Oh yeah, we used to do that. Yeah,
a lot of people use incense for meditation. So I would do that, but I don't do it anymore because the singers would complain, I can't breathe. Certain things be a little bit of a we won't talk about that, but yeah. So anyway, there's no one thing I do. It's more when the mood strikes, you get in the zone for writing.
Right.
On stage, the adrenaline always carries me. I mean,
how about before getting on stage for a concert? Is there certain, because I've noticed that you kind of like, you're by yourself and you're getting, I noticed that you pick up your guitar and you start going through your
I'm by myself because I'm tired of dealing with you guys, the musicians.
Oh man, what? I thought that was just something he does. Oh, Rico's okay. Just leave him alone. That's something he does. He's got to get himself prepped up for this concert.
I'm a road manager most of the time, someone who's kind of my shield. Once we get to the show, and I know everybody's there. No one's gotten a car accident. Nobody's lost. Nobody's in the hospital, and we're all there. The sound is working. So then I have to do my warm up and get myself focused because, as you know, I lead the band on stage. Everybody's got to know their parts, but everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, you got to make sure
and all that. So I got to get my brain on the right track. So my workout kind of calms me down. The workout I do on guitar. Right, the scales, different exercises I do, and it just gets me focused. And
for how long you do these scales? For
well, it depends on how much trouble we have before I get to go and relax. But I like to at least for a half hour to an hour get warmed up, and we all talking backstage, but I'm trying to get focused, and so that's. Sometimes, though, when the most panic situations, when we have all kinds of technical difficulties or arriving late and you have to jump on stage with no warm up, throwing your clothes on, grabbing the guitar because you're so late or there's a problem. Sometimes that's when you play your best.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Oh, yeah. That's when the magic happens. You got to reach real deep inside and pull it all out. I know.
Yeah. It comes in many different ways. There's times.
Yes.
So, you had a lot to do with, just to say Rico Monaco and Soul Sons was what the band was called. Now it's Rico Monaco Band. But,
Rico Monaco Band. And I got to play some of the albums, CDs we recorded with Rico Monaco Band.
Yeah, you've been recording with me on and off.
Yeah, Genre Bending, great CD. Oh, man, the songs on that was just...
Yeah, we got, the first one. That's, you can't see, kind of. It's Monaco and Soul Sons, that's the one that took us around.
I suggest everyone, you got to get that. You have, I'm telling you.
And then there's a couple other CDs that we did that, we don't.
That's nice, yeah.
My distributor doesn't put it out, but I didn't, the quality's not there. So Luna Salerno was the next one. That's got Yaya Mama on it.
And we're going to speak about Luna Salerno because that's when you, like I wanted to segue into the different, but
and then the other CDs we can talk about.
We could talk about. Yeah, great. I mean, how many CDs have you ever counted? How many CDs you got there? Coming
Well,
up.
there's, like I said, some are not distributed.
Okay.
The ones that are out there on YouTube and Spotify.
Mhm.
1,
Mhm.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Good
a
work too. A
recording
lot of
these bands.
and yeah, and to our musician viewers and friends, I understand that through this through this artist and band leader Rico Monaco, a lot of great musicians had gone through this band. You know what I'm saying? We can mention Jessie Caravello, great musician right now. We can mention
with Mark.
Gino Picard. Yeah, Chris Valentino, great drummer too. You have great drummers. But there's one that is also an icon in the music. It's more like started out as a side musician for the Fania, and a lot of I remember playing all those albums way back. Son of Latin Music that won a Grammy on the bass is this individual I'm gonna mention next. Also, Larry Harlow, Salsa, Popo on Me, for those I spoke of that with Dimas. So let's speak about how you met Eddie Guagua Rivera. Wow. When I heard that he was playing with you, and let me tell you, I knew Eddie. We spoke a couple of times. We used to see each other when I used to live up in Orlando, a certain area. He was also there. So we spoke a lot. You know what I'm saying? When you come getting, even at the gas station, we'll meet each other. All right, what's up? We'll be speaking. Eddie always had great things to say about the band, Rico Monaco band. You know what I'm saying? And the works. He loved Tell Me. He was like, because the bass. Remember how we came up with that bass line? Exactly. And matter of fact, a lot of bass players that played it couldn't really understand it and feel it, but Eddie got it like nothing. The content. I call it contrabajo because that's the idea that I was communicating to you and Pete. That bass contrabajo, because I did a lot of stuff vocally, and you guys just put it together. Yeah. But Eddie Guagua playing with you, how did that happen? Such an icon like that.
Well, when you're a band leader and you like I said, the same crew stayed together 5 years, and then we started having some changes because life happens, and Dimas, the percussionist, our good friend and great musician, introduced me to Eddie. He was playing with Eddie, and I needed a bass player, and I was like, yeah, Eddie's like too good to play with us, He's the guys play with Pierre, Tito Puente, Mongo Santeria. He plays Giovanni, all these famous artists, and he's a Latin.
Charlie Palmieri, yeah.
And our music has got some jazz and Latin in it, but it's rock. But he wanted to do it, and I was like, great. And, he's
nailed it.
Some of our best songs on Luna Salerno. The whole album, the bass is the best part of the album. He played, Kaya Mama. He just kills that groove.
Yeah, the signature. Yeah, that's Eddie. That's the signature Eddie.
A song I wrote that, that's a tribute to Tito, but he just killed that. And then Ciao Bella Signorina, which is a song I wrote.
Beautiful song.
It's a Italian chorus, English verse. He turned that, the bass part's like a tango. And no bass player we know or anybody would have done it like Eddie. And so the guy couldn't be a sweeter, more humble person. And, fortunately passed away some years ago. But, the one thing I remember about him is when he would talk, I just would tell everybody we just wanted to listen, and he was very soft-spoken.
I was the same way.
So much from him musically, but as a person more. And then, when he did pass away, his wife came up to me and, all the musicians were there. And he said, I just want you to know Eddie loved you. And you always paid him what you said you were going to pay him.
Yeah.
So business, the jazz.
That's what I can remember.
And she said, he loved playing with you. And that's the highest compliment, amazing musician. So, if you check out some of our stuff, Ya Mama.
There's some videos too. That solo he did on the Hard Rock Live with you. Oh man, extraordinary. I mean, for all your aspiring to be bass player, you really, you got to go back and see these clips, man.
So people know he's a legend from New York City, and played with Fanny All Stars, very famous.
All the first albums were for the Gran Fuga with Willie Colon, and that's Eddie on bass.
Yeah, so it was an honor to play with him, and then And then Jessie, Jessie was playing with me before that on drums. When he couldn't play with a lot of other people in the area, But then he got the gig with Mark Anthony, got the audition.
Yeah.
He's been with Mark Anthony since 2004 as his main percussionist now. So, and that's an amazing connection with Eddie. You learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Luna Salerno.
Luna Salerno, and it's
Right.
this CD, and obviously
Features a lot Eddie. Yeah, it features Eddie a lot on there.
Yeah, well, his bass, he plays bass on the whole thing.
And you never made it to the memorial that I actually, me and Dimas, we did a memorial for him when I was at the Spiritual Center, Center for Spiritual Living, and I wanted to create. I had a stage, and I wanted to create that venue. That was one of the first things I did was to do a memorial for Eddie. His wife was there, his kids, and we made that was a huge event. But I don't think you were able to make it, right?
No, I forget. I made it to the funeral and everything, and
the funeral, yeah.
And it was a great experience playing with him, an honor. Yeah. I have so many tremendous experiences. That's why I'm still doing it. I've been fortunate. One thing happens, you can keep going, and then it's look, man, it's not easy. It's a big sacrifice, as to be a musician, try and make a real go of it, but. These recordings, they aren't $1 million recordings. Some of them are better than others, but I'm very proud of them. They've taken a lot of work from me, but all the musicians like yourself who played on a lot of, and we put them out and they're out there and we're doing shows. I mean,
the shows
we did a year ago before the darn lockdown and COVID-19, played with Sammy Hagar in the Circle at Dr. Phillips Center. And
I wasn't there for that, but that was an interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. That was a year ago, November. And then the last 3 shows we did were at big hot air balloon festival in Lakewood.
I didn't make that.
3 nights in a row with Tito Jr. and it was just awesome. Right. All these shows in Paris and New York and then DC when we went Mexico. On to we did Mexico. I feel very blessed. Thank you to everybody that likes and supports it and enjoys it.
There's more to come. There's more to come. Trust me. There's more to come.
Things are, hopefully when things open up, maybe by summertime, doing live shows again.
Right. Let's speak about your projects you got doing now, because I think we cover it. I mean, it's so much, and I'm sure, it's just so much, what I'm saying, as a wealth of experience and and things you can share, especially your experience with the music business part, the management and stuff, band leading and stuff like that. And like I said it last and I say it again, I always knew when I played with Rico, I didn't have no issues, with accommodations, no issues with even food, no issues with money. As a musician, you want to make sure you get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because you handle business the right way, and I think that's so important, man. I mean, when you have a band, I mean, we don't make a lot of them, but it's sufficient enough at the time. It's it helps. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That I know you respect it.
You're a great musician yourself. People should know that. As a percussionist and had great ideas, great songwriter. You're very knowledgeable, but also you would never complain at gigs. You were just so happy to do the gigs, and we've done, as we've been blessed with so many great big shows, and I never knew all that was going to happen. I worked real hard, hoped it was going to happen, but there's no guarantees, man. Every show I feel like, well, that's another one. That's another one that I maybe don't deserve, but let me keep going. And I feel, like I said, honored. And so, but you guys, the band members, always have a lot to do with it. It's not just a one-man show.
Yeah, no. But wherever I play, when I play the outside of the band, but wherever I play through Universal or Disney or wherever whoever I play, I know that name Rico Monaco, it's resonate. People know. What I'm saying? Especially in Florida, the Rico Monaco band. I mean, we made a name for ourselves.
Yeah, you got everyone contributed, and which it's nice to have. Like we said, we got airplay. We are on the television a little bit, and did a lot of shows with quite a few famous artists.
House of TV.
You know, remember we played with the Whalers in the Cafe Tacuba. And,
wow, that was awesome.
and then we've done a lot since. So I remember
The House of Blues.
for WMMO, we played with Tears for Fears. All kinds.
Tears for Fear. Remember that concert? Oh man, that was such a huge event.
So we were able to play with, Latin acts like Los Van Van, right? The Cuban band, right?
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
And rock bands, yeah.
And, that's the idea of the band. It's, trying to appeal to a cross section. They talk about diversity, right? Well, music brings people together.
Exactly. And you proved that. You proved that with the way you handled the band and the material that you chose. Cause it was like a school. Like I tell everybody, the Rico Monaco band was not just a band. It was an institution, because when you were in that band, you got exposed to other music, styles. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point.
Dimas coming from Puerto Rico with the Latin jazz and all his experience. And then we had, people from New Orleans,
from New York,
a lot of New Yorkers, And so we mix in, everybody's bringing their influences, and we're all learning from each other. Check out this artist. Like, as you always say, when I went to Italy, and I'd heard Pito Daniele before, but, we started playing some of his music and Zucchero, and there's, it's really, I'm still learning. I learn from my students. Try and learn every day.
For everybody to know, Rico now is listening to Bad Bunny.
That's Matthew.
Bad Bunny. This house also. Everybody goes nuts.
I gotta tell him that, look, man, Carlos was talking about reggaeton 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. I wanted to do some songs with that style. Yeah.
Look, if something is done well, I appreciate it, especially if it has a lot of success. I know how hard it is. And if it lasts, there's a lot of disposable hits, as you know. And 5-10 years from now, we won't be hearing them much, and they're just they're pablum, But if an artist has success, you got to respect it. I may not be my favorite. That's okay. We like real musicians and all that, but technology, man, it's always going to keep marching on. You either get involved or you get left behind. So
you need it. Technology goes with music. I mean, I was studying music technology.
Like the jazz snob, like some of the guys we played with. Let's be honest. If it was too pop, a song we wanted to do, they'd be like, no, and they
didn't understand it. They didn't understand that this.
Yeah, you got to have an open mind, and to each his own. That's fine, but hey, to write a song that people are going to remember and that's going to stick, that's the hardest thing to do in music, in my opinion.
Right.
Becoming a great guitarist, a great drummer, keyboard player, that's extremely difficult. But to write songs that have great musicianship in it, that's what I love.
Let's see those guitar again. You mentioned guitar. You have guitars. I know you always got them around you, but let's see those guitars.
I'm in my control
educate us on that.
This is my
what is that?
Paul Reed Smith's. It's it's in 1989. I was an artist with Paul Reed Smith for a while. This guitar,
the endorsements you had.
Yeah, it's a 1987. This is a beautiful piece of wood, and it's a great guitar. You guys seen all the pictures. That's a Paul Reed Smith. And then you remember I was signed to Gibson as an artist.
That's right. I remember that we played at their showroom. We did a couple of events at their showroom.
In Orlando, and Michael Wagner from Gibson. He gave me this when I signed it. They signed the deal. They gave me a Les Paul. And this is a lot of my old friends from high school remember this guitar. It's my Strat. I changed.
Wow. And you think, wow.
And this is, I changed the neck, but this is a great guitar. It's got, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, his pickup setup. But this guitar had been through the wars, It's been a lot of road work, and it's a great sound. Yeah, and I got other ones, but, I'm not a collector, man. I'm a musician. I'm a player,
Oh, yeah. But still, collection is very important when you deal with musicianship. Yeah. I wish that I would have been a little more invested in that. But collection is collecting, those pieces of instruments are very, very important, man. Very, very important.
I always say,
every great musician always have a collection.
I'm not like a gearhead, I want to get, they're my tools. The guitars and the amp, they help project my voice. But, when I first met Carlos Santana, I remember everyone's thinking.
Tell us about that.
It's the gear. Well, a famous photographer, rock and roll named Joe Sia in Connecticut, invited me to Santana was playing with Bob Dylan at Jones Beach.
Wow. What? Nice.
And Joe was going to be the photographer. So I said, I want to go. And so I knew I was going to meet him. And And I was excited because I loved him and still do, of course. And went backstage, and I was like, what am I going to ask him? So I said, the song Bella, Bella in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, so how did you get that tone? And he just looks at me, and he looks down at his hands, and he holds up his hands, and he shows me his hands. Didn't say anything,
Hey, I don't know. It's in my hands.
So, I mean, you use great equipment, but, if Carlos Santana came and played my guitar, it'd still sound like him.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen, anybody, name that, Jeff Beck, any BB.
That register in you, right, about the hands, because I noticed when you play, it
comes from here.
Yeah.
So, but your equipment makes a big difference. But I'm a player. These are my tools to try and project and to express myself as a musician. Express the emotion. The passion.
So let's segue into what the projects you're doing now, especially with the band. Once in a while, I'll sit in with the band, and I do it when you need me. I'm there for you, that. But the band you have now, awesome singer, Zoraida.
Very female,
very school.
Yeah. She been working with me on and off since 2004, and Richard Gibo. Great vocalist.
Richard Gibo is a singer, right?
Yeah, he's the lead vocalist, male vocalist.
Great guy. Yeah, good.
2.5 years. Been very blessed. We live in a town where there's a lot of musicians, and
these are professionals, right? They work at Disney. These are professional musicians that you have in your.
Disney's not open now, but
well, what they were. But what I remember when I was playing with them, and then you had keyboards. What's that guy's name on keyboard? Awesome keyboard player, man. But I seen him playing with Tito Nieves, I think.
The latest guy was Lisandro Codicido,
right.
And but also Danny Escobar, and has some great musicians with the band. But we're currently
Joselito on bass, the Dominican guy.
Dominican. He is something else, man.
He is Dominican, boy. That guy is Dominican, boy. But great. I mean,
the Sammy Sosa the bass, he's a great player, great feel, and always laughing. Even when I don't want him to, he makes us laugh.
He's got good stage presence. I noticed it, man.
Good looking on stage, and really a team player, man. He's really, kind of surprised me, because people first get involved, you wonder how they're going to do, and I really appreciate everybody. And then Chris Valentino played drums with us, your friend who played with us.
Chris Valentino, I have a huge history on Chris Valentino. I didn't know that he moved, and I'm trying to get in contact with him because we have a huge history, with Universal and playing with you. And playing with Gary Williams.
But Jesse plays drums with me. Dimas still plays with me when he can. And then I have the horn guys, Elton Reyes.
Right.
Knows great best trumpet players around.
Right. Dean Dukes, great arranger. He did a lot of arrangements on some of your songs.
Great arranger, been with me for years on and off. And Jamie and James Hosner. I haven't played with James in a while, but whenever he sees me, he's like, Paris.
James Hosner, yeah. Paris, right? He went to Paris with us.
Well, and then all the guys we used to play with. But yeah, that's the current band, and we're going to be filming a live show without audience, but 4-camera video shoot and multi-track audio on March 10th.
So that's a video shoot. It's not going to be streamed live or anything. It's just a video shoot.
Yeah, we might stream it like after the fact, but we'll see how it goes out, and we'll put it out. That's in March, and hopefully, so I got some songs I'm writing, and I want to, I've been getting a lot of airplay. I want to give a shout out to Hildy Brooks at WMMO.
Exactly.
We're 98.9.
Matter of fact, it was their idea for us to do the unplugged version of a CD that we did.
Yeah.
With Greg on vocals, and man, good works on that one, man. I remember that. The unplug. Yeah, that one, man. You got to listen to Radio Gaga. That's me on the work. Remember when I put in the Udo? We started doing Radio Gaga.
Who would Freddie Mercury think about you playing the Udo on his song?
Udo on his song? Oh, man. And it was like a cha-cha feel with an Udo in it. Oh, man.
It's funny. He didn't write that. Freddie Mercury
didn't write that.
The drummer wrote it, Roger Taylor.
Oh, well,
but anyway, the point is that, Hildy has this Sunday morning acoustic show every Sunday. And so he said, you got any unplugged versions? So we did a whole record of Unplugged,
That's
and
right.
she plays the song "Bam I See Red" fairly often. It's been out for like 3-4 years now.
Awesome song. Yeah.
20 times. So
that's got a nice groove. That drive. That's got that rock groove, and
it's a mix of it's kind of a tribute to Sammy Hagar, "Bam I See Red." And
because they call him the Red Rocker.
Yeah, and it was we were going to do some shows with him, and the song has influence there, but also the lyrics are from the Man in the Arena speech, if anybody knows that, by Teddy Roosevelt. I used that as an influence, where
I didn't know that.
I'm the man in the arena, marred by dust, blood, sweat, and critics, forget the critics. You just do your thing and do your best, type thing. And so that song gets a lot of airplay, the acoustic version, Unplugged. And so we're going to do a few Unplugged songs probably the next couple months. And maybe, maybe she'll play those too, or at least one of them. And maybe you'll be playing percussion on it. I don't know yet.
Hey, I'm here. Like I say, I'm available. I'm healed. I feel good.
Hey, man, you remember when we played the Castleberry Latin Jazz show with Tito? That was a little over a year ago.
The last one I did. Yeah.
And City of Castleberry put it on. They were great to us, as always. And Joe Campbell helped make that happen. Thanks, Joe. And Linda Moore. And anyway, 4,000 people, remember?
That was insane. Oh, yeah.
Just healing. You were working at Universal playing. And you said, I want to play. Tito's going to be, we were going to do our show, and then Tito's going to come out and join us, Tito Jr. And I got in a major car accident 3 days before that.
I know you was telling us.
Announced it. I don't give my personal life on Facebook that much. And
nothing can stop you, huh? Nothing can stop you. Keep you down. You made it.
The adrenaline, the power of music, man. Because I was at best 80% that night, but I didn't feel.
But that was a great show. You did a great job. That was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, great show. Remember, I was 6 months in the hospital, and then trying to work at Universal and doing that, and then doing this concert, and you with your back, with what happened to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm lucky.
Cuquito, man, Reyes, drums. Yeah. Oh my!
You mentioned
the
him.
Groove.
Where are you, man? Alberto.
Yes. Alberto, man. All right. Called Cuquito because I knew when he was. I remember when he was young and playing with his father. But yeah, Cuquito was
him
amazing.
Him and Elton go back and forth. When we went on the road together with Tito Jr.
Really?
These guys making me laugh the whole trip. Really great guys, great musicians. But yeah, he's a great percussionist and drummer too.
My God, percussion, the timbale. Oh, that dude is
plays with Jessie a lot, and those guys kill it. And with Gino, and Gino played with me before, and all those guys. That whole Kissimmee, Poinciana, Puerto Rican.
That's right. The Kissimmee crew, I call them. Yeah,
they're all. Is Giovanni still living down there, Hidalgo?
No, he's not in Kissimmee. He's more in Claremont.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
but we were speaking because he wanted to move out here because I wanted him to be a little closer to me. So it's because it's his conditions and stuff like that, and he wanted to move out here in North Carolina. Yeah. So I was looking for a place for him here. He want to go. He likes mountains.
For those people that gringos and white people that don't know who we're talking about, Giovanni Hidalgo is probably one of the greatest conga players, percussionists.
I come from Dizzy Gillespie, Eddie Palmieri. I mean, this guy Abata Kumbele. I mean, he even played with D'Angelo. He showed me.
But anyway, I've been fortunate, these guys. But yeah, Alberto and Cuquito, everybody calls him. Yeah. He was on the tour we did with Tito, and one of the shows, all the shows were amazing on that trip. And when we played in Delaware, man, it was thousands of people packed. We do our thing first half hour, and then Tito comes out, and the mix of the styles really worked, and it's. When we play live, as man, that's why we're still doing it. People like to hear it, so thank God for that, man. And we don't always hit the mark, but man, the passion is always there. And with the percussion, when I first saw Santana after hearing the Latin and the jazz from my father all the time and the rock and roll, I said, man, I saw Santana, as I told you before, live for the first time in 1980. And Al Di Meola, the great jazz fusion guitarist, was opening the show. And then
I grew up on Return to Forever. You kidding me?
Came together at the end of the show, and I'm a young guitar, very young, looking at this. Yeah. It's outside, and the percussion is going at Shelton, in Shelton, Connecticut, at Pinecrest, a great venue, old place that people might remember who were from up there. And I said, that's what I wanted, that percussion, outside. It was very spiritual and, deep. I think it's deep. As Carlos Santana says, the people, the Grateful Dead, they dance like, butterflies, but their music was more like down in this
hippie dance. I call it the hippie dance.
But the music with that Latin Afro-Cuban rhythms, that hits you deeper. It's all right, but, So
if anybody get a chance, I'm also love musicology. When you're into music, people don't know that a lot of the original rock and roll, if you really listen to it, Cuban influence. A lot of Cuban influence. You hear the tumbao in there. Dum, 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 and you can hear that influence, and that's important, when you get to know and you study, rhythm and how that influenced, some of those old rock and roll Chuck Berry stuff, and yeah.
Oh, diddly, man.
Bo Diddley, yeah, you hear that. And as a matter of fact, they used to use a conga in the background, a very low end conga, and Motown even used that a lot.
Yeah,
that type of beat.
The best music, in my opinion, you're always pulling, learning from something else and trying to develop something new. So that's what we've been trying to do all these years, what I'm still trying to do, and lean a little more rock, a little more Latin to bring in.
And it's working. I mean, it's working because you put out some awesome content.
Yeah. Well, we're always trying, right?
And like I said, I'm now with my spiritual journey and now with my healing and my spiritual journey, I'm able to now see music. And I got a lot of people that are always telling me, yo, you got to do this. I mean, you don't miss your calling, And so I want to do some writing. I got some great ideas. Matter of fact, I don't know, man. Don't steal my ideas. No, just kidding. You remember that Santana did Jingo, right?
Of course,
and Jingo is an old chant. It's actually a Yoruba chant. So you go, Jingo, Jingo, right? Well, I used to also use an old chant, which was Ango, 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 Ango. So I was like, yo, if I can get Rico to do some nice, we could create around these chants some nice driving
grooves,
guitar work, grooves, guitar, give it that little rock and then awesome.
Yeah.
And then of course, with my work with the Congolese, Tobo Zumbamba, Zemba, oh man, we can create something great. So I just want to throw that out there. One of my ideas, Rico. I just want to throw that out there. We got to work on that.
Yeah, well, send me
the next jingo.
Send me the groove. Yeah,
Yeah.
Look, you helped create a lot of the ideas and arrangements that on some of the songs. We do other people's songs, but we do our version of it. And so you were involved in that. And that's one thing if I'm good at anything, it's taking besides writing, I can write some stuff pretty good, but I can take other people, do my own arrangement that fits the band.
Exactly. I got to give it to you, especially working with you and Dima Sanchez. I remember when we were doing the first CD, the rhythms. I mean, we used samba rhythms. And you were open to it. You were like, yes, I want that. Yes, give it some samba. Give it some ground. As a matter of fact, we even did salsa. Yeah. I forgot what's the name of this. Yeah, it was a salsa feel to it and a comparsa feel, what you doing the guitar. Man, to me, it was just groundbreaking.
And then you remember the song Tropico is like the first merengue
rock. That's right. You gotta I'm telling you, I tell you, when this podcast is over, I'm gonna go back on my Spotify and just I once in a while go in there and I listen to these and I say to myself, wow, man. He was onto something here.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's
still, and it brought us to that level. You know what I'm saying, that we needed to go.
Yeah, I would
that's important.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like I said, I do this because I love to create and write. I love to perform, and so and I teach. I have my rmlessons.com if anybody's interested in the Orlando area. I do.
Yeah. Send me
well.
Where can they get? What's the? I could put it on the thing over here, the chat for people. I want to.
Yeah, it's you got the I think you got the band website there.
Right, that's the band. The RicoMonaco.com I got on
You can
there.
get to all our, a lot of, we're on, Ivan Alvarez and CDA Music Group has our music distributed on all
So let
platforms.
me write that down. CDA
Music Group, yeah. C with a
Music Group.
small D is capital C, small D, capital A. Music.
Yeah, music.
And, from Miami. And but
Never met.
my lesson website, rmlessons.com. And so, I have streaming videos out. I actually did it. Remember, I did the instruction DVD,
Yes.
So
As a matter of fact, it was featured at the Hard Rock hotels.
Yeah. They put an hour of it up on the Hard Rock Hotel Chicago.
That's right. Great. Yeah, I wanted to get that. Yeah.
So anyway, so I use that stuff for, for my lessons. And, I'm always learning, always trying to study and improve and, enjoying life, doing my best. Things are going, considering how, what everybody's going through. I feel very fortunate right now that, I'm still.
For the lessons, where can they reach you at? RM what?
rmlessons.com.
RM Lessons, capital R.
Yeah. No, it is RM. Yeah. And, yeah. So, yeah, and the last CD, it's really a bunch of singles, We wanted to talk about that a little. It's really a bunch of singles called Hey Tito. But Tito Jr. is on, the songs we did. I wrote a song called Hey Tito about his father.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was we played that with you.
Biographical type song, and Tito Jr.'s on it, and it talks about his father growing up in New York and the advent of the music, and then Carlos Santana recording Oye Como Va, making it huge, and then what we're trying to do, and so he's on that song, and we got videos for that, and then also we remixed El Cayuco with horns, from our original album. I put new guitars, new horns on it, and then we did. I wrote some songs in my blood, and
play that. That's kind of difficult to play, but yeah.
Jessie Caravello plays
exactly
percussion. Laid down an amazing arrangement,
Amazing percussion arrangement.
We sell the CD, but online on Spotify, they're all just singles. So you can check out the songs. Let me put on my glasses. I think I forgot one song, but Oye Como Va.
But it's nice. I mean, even though they're streaming, even though it's online, it's nice to have the physical CD. So everyone, it's nice to have the physical CD because it's
a lot of people don't have CD players anymore. But
just to have it.
We sell them on the website. We sell them at shows. You got to have some. We have T-shirts and all that. But but then this CD also has a lot of the hits. The songs that I wouldn't say hits, but songs that got some airplay.
No, they're hits because some of them got airplay.
There's 10 other songs on there, from the past CDs, and then all the CDs are, Oh, by the way, we got to remember the Christmas CD.
Oh yeah, please, especially at this time of season now, you got to get the Christmas CD.
That's Father V. That's not very Latin, but it's got a rock versions,
but it's got a lot of percussion in there too, because I did the percussion for that CD.
Greg singing on it, and bands. Greg, you got to remember Robert played drums with us a long time. He's on it.
Robert, but he's not playing drums anymore.
No, he's a little busy with family. But Christmas Rock has a bunch of songs and interludes by Father V. That's him in the in the area, people in Orlando.
Yeah. And I love that CD because we added we added the percussion, the flavor, everything there was like right on time.
And that's out there, and then We Rock You Rust. That CD is more
that
rock.
That CD was very groundbreaking. Yeah, wow, that CD was a great one. That's with Paige Quintana, right? Paige Quintana sang on.
No, this one is with Greg.
But the one with Paige is genre bending. That one's awesome too.
Yeah, that was before, and that's genre bending is got Baila Morena on it, and got Meltdown,
and a lot of videos. We got a lot of videos on that.
Ciao Bella Signorina and Ya Ya Mama. We redid the previous CD, and I'm very proud of this one, mixed by Elvis Cabrera in Puerto Rico.
Great
keyboard player, play with a lot of famous people. Yeah. Other two Rico, Monaco, and Soul Sun CDs. You're on a lot of this stuff. So
I'm on that.
So stuff's all available. Nice, we'll be out there again. For sure. And
Mhm.
but I'm really happy that you're getting this going. I think you're going to be great at this, Carlos. You're a character,
you.
man. I mean, when you're not around, we talk about you.
Oh, good. Good thing.
And we laugh.
I don't care. Yeah. I've been like I told everybody, a lot of the guys were a lot of professional guys in the band. We're serious, but I was kind of like a loose
Oh,
cannon.
no, man, you were always a pleasure to work with, man. I mean, yeah, we all have our challenges, man, but
Yeah.
but no, honestly, we laugh because you made us laugh. But we all know you're a serious musician, man, and very knowledgeable, obviously. And I respect you, and you're like a brother to me, and I'm really happy that you're doing this, and having Tito and you're going to get a lot of people, as you get this rolling. I mean, we're working out kinks, and so
Well, thanks to you. Thanks to you, I was able to work out some kinks, and now I'm paying more attention, to the technical part. The technical, I wanted to get there, but now you gave me the opportunity to do that, and so that's good.
So yeah, man. I mean, we're. I don't know if you have any other questions, but it's Christmas. Two more days, man. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, man.
Yes.
Coming to a close, thank God, right?
I'm just, just want to put this pandemic behind us, bro, because how important it is. That's why I did this podcast. I wanted to revisit, a lot of the memories and revisit with musicians and to make sure everybody's doing okay and dealing with this pandemic. Definitely, we got to put this behind us. We got to do, practice social distancing, put on your mask when you have to. But the main important thing is the diet. You know what I'm saying? Get your immune system up, man. That's so important.
You got,
supplements
can help. I think. Yeah.
You were very big on supplement. I remember the green seed, the grape seed that you was.
Oh, you remember that? Yeah, I still take it. It's.
Look at that.
It's called Picnaginol. It's a pine bark from Bordeaux, France, extract, and with grape skin. Which is,
because you don't look your age. I mean, we don't look our age.
Come on,
we don't want to give that away, but no.
That's okay, man. We are.
Last time I seen you, you was fit and you youthful. The energy is there, and I think that has a lot to do with the music also.
Well,
music keeps you youthful.
I guess when you do something you love, it keeps you young. I had an experience. Blue Oyster Cult. We opened the show for them when I was young. Me and Al Cheek and Monaco in New Haven, Connecticut. I mean, one of my favorite guitarists. Great band. So I became friendly. He was the guitarist, Buck Dharma, Donald Roser, great guy.
Wow.
Really nice to me. Didn't have to be, but every time I ran into him after, he'd invite me backstage at their shows a couple times. And after a show in Fort Lauderdale, he said, "Hey, man, after the show, I'm going to a blues club to sit in with the blues band." And the band was called Big Mama Blue, big heavy female singer. And I said, "Why don't you meet me there? I'm meeting my brother and his wife there." I said, "Oh, okay." So I go and I meet him there, and I meet him and his brother, very nice guy. And I don't mean to be disparaging at all, but when I meet him, I'm thinking, "Oh man, this guy's probably much like 10 years older than Buck," But when I found out, his brother was a businessman, successful guy, but he was younger than Buck, and because Buck was doing what he loved all his life. It kept him youthful. Buck is still playing, man.
And that's the key right there. The youthful key is do what you like, do what you love. You know what I'm saying?
You got to work real hard to make like we talk about.
Being
a great musician, there's great musicians in every neighborhood. God bless them. They're everywhere. But if you want to do it for a living or try to make a go of it, you got art has to meet business, and they don't go naturally together. They just so you have to find a way to make that.
You have to find a way,
and it's extremely difficult to do that. But if you love it, you find a way to keep going and enjoy it. And we do our best. Hey, man, all I know is I've had so many experiences on stage with you. And when you're behind me playing, or the other guys.
I'm always next to you. I would not notice that. You always have me right by you there, and then the feel, we was just there.
Yeah, you put out that energy from the first time you played that triangle solo when you got on stage.
That's how we met.
I didn't even know you. Dima said you were coming. I'm like, okay. Little bar we were playing, a restaurant, and you came up and did a triangle solo, and I was like, oh my God.
I know. I was like, again, desire, the energy, the desire. I said, yeah, we're taking a triangle solo.
But
That's
the energy
crazy.
on stage and being able to play, you know, I look at some of these photos and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, man, I feel blessed.
And you have a library of videos.
Yeah, we got about 75 I got a lot of other video. I just don't have the time to edit stuff, you know. And it's
Right.
like,
I was gonna say, have you ever put out those, you know, those videos?
the Rico Monaco Band YouTube channel has most of the videos that are out there. When we did remember when unfortunately we had the Pulse tragedy here in Orlando, and the owner Rosario and his wife Barbara asked me to put on just 11 days after the tragedy. And so a lot of that, we have some video of that show, and the guys from Alan Parsons' band down from that.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, they played with us, and that was amazing. Some of that video's there, and there's video for a lot of the songs. There's live video when we play with Sammy, when we met Sammy. With Junior, there's live video. There's
that all was recorded.
Yeah, so there's a lot, you know, and you know, I produced all that stuff. It's like a massive amount of work, and you know, it's a big sacrifice, but I guess it's my legacy, you know. I'm fortunate, you know, if it all ended tomorrow, man, you know, I wouldn't feel like I got gypped at all. I think I got more than I deserve, but I'm still going to keep going, and I hope to see everybody out there. Everybody stay strong, man. We're going to get through this, and man, unfortunately, you know, we all know people that have gotten, you know, COVID-19. I don't mean to get down or depressing or become dead or downer, but I had a good friend who passed away like a week ago. His family was watching, you know, and great Italian guy, Tony Capabianco. God bless him and his family. And so it's real, man, you know, so we'll get through this though, you know, and I think, you know, you got to enjoy life. Try not to get too down. It's easy to be depressed about all this. But you know, listen to music, man. You know, be selfish. Put on some of our music. Go on the Spotify, and
there you go.
We got playlists.
I'm gonna do it tonight. That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
You know, and listen to our music and share it. You know, help us out a little. Feed a musician, I say. You know, when we're on stage, you know how I say sometimes I say, yeah, we got our CDs for sale over here. We'll be signing CDs after the show, and you know, if you buy a CD, then Carlos is going to be able to eat tonight. You know? That's
right. I need to eat.
I say that all the time, but I kind of mean it. But you know,
yeah, he said that on stage. That was crazy.
It's not, you know, I'm pushing my CDs and our music and all that. And we're self-promoting, but any musician, you know, that's working hard and got some skill, you know, artists. I'm a musician, so musicians, you know, buy one of their CDs right now. Buy a couple. Share, you know, buy some for Christmas. Just go online and listen to the music. Share it. Follow. Like. You know, it's people are so focused on themselves now with the social media. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And I understand all that. You know, it's like, look at me. You know, I'm
doing the TikTok. They're doing the TikTok dances.
And that's great. It's great. You know, YouTube's great for musicians to learn from other musicians. But, you know, support real artists a little bit, you know.
Get out. Yeah.
Not just, you know, these people are trying to survive. You know, in this area, a lot of people are out of work, but unfortunately, you know, we'll get through this, and we'll be doing live shows again, and other people will be, and you know, maybe people will be hungrier for live music. Maybe we'll see. You know,
well, Rico, it sounds like you closed us out. You know what I'm saying? That's a closeout, right?
Well, look, man,
I want to keep
I thank you for all your work with the bands. I wish you great success. Buona fortuna.
Much more to come. Yep.
And
much more to come.
I can't wait for you to get other people. Whenever you want me to come back, we'll do that. But Merry Christmas, man.
Igualmente. Same to you. Same to you. Merry Christmas. You know? And Happy New Year. You got a birthday coming up.
You just got a birthday.
Yeah. December the 11th. Yeah.
29.
Like you said, one day before Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra.
Who I met and escorted. Yeah.
That was my parents' anniversary. December 12th. So I remember Sinatra's birthday. And
nice.
So but no, it's Christmas time, man. God bless you. Anybody that's listening and watches it in the future. Thank you for the support. Please support Silos here. You got a YouTube channel, right? And
YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you know, I'm gonna do some more interviews, you know what I'm saying?
And Carlos, man, you know, the thing is, we recorded this yesterday. But the first half hour, we had technical difficulties, and then about 4 minutes in the middle, we had difficulties. So we just decided to delete it. You did, and I think we had more energy yesterday, man. I think we're like kind of.
Well, it's always like that. It's always like that. The first time around.
Take in the studio, man. It's the first guitar. Yeah. Usually, it might have mistakes, but it's got that energy.
When you revisit those recordings, you say, man, because I've done that. Man, I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have added this. Could have added that. It's always like that.
Yeah, always. Man, the snare sound, man, on this one, man, I want to, fix this or that. Yeah, I mean, it's never really done. You just decide to stop.
But I learned after a time, you got to let it go. Let it do its thing on its own. You got to let it go and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And keep going. You have to learn how to let go. Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Rico. Much love to you, family.
Tomorrow night, I'm be with family. Some family small gathering, but we're going to be eating the Italian seafood Christmas Eve, my favorite meal.
Nice, right? You used to always cooking for the holidays.
Well, my grandmother and my mother.
You're a good cook, also, right? You're a good cook.
Well, right now I don't have to do a lot of cooking. I have a good situation and wonderful people here, and tomorrow night we'll be doing the Italian feast, and then Christmas Day. I feel very blessed, man. Thanks to all my friends out there and your friends. And
well, my brother, it's been a pleasure having you here. Like I said, you need me, whatever, just holler at me. I'll make it see like we can make it work.
All right.
Okay, so thank you very much. There you go. There you heard it. So if you like, if you want to see yourself out, that'd be fine. Yeah, and I love you. Take care, man. Take care of yourself.
God bless you, man. Ciao.
Ciao. Well, there you go. That's the revisiting Rico, and like he explained to you, we did it. We had a little more energy, but I think we covered a lot. You know what I'm saying? You get to experience to see it where he's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Good work. So and Rico helped me. Like I told you, Rico's a perfectionist. He's an organizer. Rico is a director, band leader, and he put a lot of things together. You know what I'm saying? From TV shows we done and stuff. So you get to see that. And I gotta give it to him. He helped me here because he pushed me to say, hey, listen, you can do this, you can do that. And I had to say, whoa, wait a minute. I know I'm dealing with Rico. I gotta get this right. And Rico, like I said, wants everything to be just right. And that's important. That's important. You set your boundaries and make things right. You seed it. You give it the right environment. And so I hope with these ideas, these podcasts, I want to bring in some more musicians, put light on them from also different states, also I want to do a collage of musicians getting on, and we're going to speak about experiences and stuff, also coming up, I want to arrange something with Gary Williams, because that's another one of the bands that I work with that's awesome talent right there, and who's still doing things online. You can check them out. Gary Williams, Bill Moss, great. Derek, he's doing some work on with the sax. I want to reach out to KG Amulo because I have the experience going to Hollywood Bowl, going to California to the Hollywood Bowl, that big stage where the Beatles and Jim and Hendrix played. Big stage, big venue, the Hollywood Bowl. For the Playboy Jazz Fest, where we did when Bill Cosby was doing the hosting. Want to reach out to him, KG Amulo, and who else? It's the Fairman Brothers that I work with in Niagara Falls. Tim Andrews, I work with Tim Andrews. Great country music. You know what I'm saying? As a musician, these are experiences. That's the one. If anything you can take away from this is that the experiences, it's very important. You know what I'm saying? And knowing how to treasure that. You know what I'm saying? Treasure your mind. The jewels of your mind. These are treasures. Also, like I said, I spent time in Brooklyn at an early age when I was going to NYU. Also spent time in Brooklyn with singers. Felipe from the Spinners, Blue Magic, met Blue Magic, Ted Mills and them, and Ray Goodman and Brown. Another brother, drummer, who was there, and I think he played, as a matter of fact, with the Blue Magic stylistics, Wasi. Wasi has something going on. He's a drummer also a bass player, and I would love to do some work with him. As far as writing and stuff like that, and hopefully get things done with him. Also, very great talent, and but it's a talent and experience that also with my spiritual. And like I was saying, the combining of both as you get older, you get to set your ways and you get to do the thing. So I'm going to do more podcasts on the energy centers and how that relates to music and how we can harness those powers. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, the perspective, I'm saying, like I had this dialogue with Rico and he'll see it from my perspective. And I know at that moment right now, even if he don't see it, but then later on, boom, he gets to see it, it resonate, and he gets to see that. And and hopefully, it's a something beneficial. It's good, positive energy and vibes, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. You know what I'm saying? And and you heard it from Rico too. The finance and stuff, to getting the great seeding that you planted that seed, and with the right environment and the right ingredients, that seed took its roots, and then out comes a product, out comes a plant, out comes something that you could be proud of in the future. And I'm very proud of all the work I did with Rico. Very proud of all the musicians that I met. You know what I'm saying? Got to experience a lot of things. And it's much, but the thing is, there's much more. I'm only revisiting it now, but I've learned to, also move on. Very important. I'm thinking that the best work is yet to come. There's so much to do. There's so much to learn. So there's so much to do. And in the meanwhile, have a wonderful experience doing it. And that's what I'm happy. These podcasts is part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's part of getting, what I'm saying, revisiting and getting these spiritual centers, aligned, what I'm saying? And so that way, when we do see each other and we still work again, it's at another level. You got to keep going up, you know what I'm saying? On another level. And I don't discredit, I never look at being so commercially great, and people are, oh, the spelling of his name, I got to spell his name right. Monaco. Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. Is Rico Monaco? What? You know what it is? I'm doing everything here, and let me put it up here the right way, because I want you to get the right spelling. It's Rico Monaco. RicoMonaco.com. Reach out to Rico. Check it out. Now, check it out. RicoMonaco.com. That's the one. Right. RicoMonaco.com. So it's okay. www.ricomonaco.com. Check that out. RM lessons, right? For lessons, Rico also does online streaming lessons on Skype or Zoom, and also works at. He's a publisher of CDA Music Group. So you want to reach out also, what I'm saying, to that. But this is the website, RicoMonaco.com, and I apologize for that. Let me make sure I erase that one. Yeah. So that's it right there. Thank you, Rico. But anyway, there he goes. Christmas is coming up. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Christmas coming up. And if you go on Spotify, I think, or you go to Rico's site, check it out. Maybe you can play some of these songs for your Christmas. If you're looking for good Christmas. I remember those old Christmas albums with the Jackson 5, great stuff. Marvin Gaye, great Christmas albums. It was always a tradition in my house that when we got together for Christmas, we play these albums, Christmas albums. I used to always looking at the cover. Oh my God, Christmas albums and so on. So, he has a Christmas album, a Christmas CD, music. Check it out. It's nice to play it at the house, and you say, and that's a good thing. Well, let me end it here. I got my granddaughters acting up. She likes to spend time with me. She jumps on. She's only 9 months, but she's already learning how to get on my bed and jump around. That girl is something else. A shout out to my family. A shout out to all my grandbabies. I mentioned that my grandson, also shows that musical ability when it comes to spoken word rapping. Gets that from his father, and I'm hoping that my granddaughter here, and also my two granddaughters that's in Orlando. So I'll be in Orlando. You know, also, I got grandbabies out there that I want to see. And I miss them so much, and my daughter Keisha, and so you're gonna hear more. You're gonna hear more from us. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, ain't nothing gonna keep us down. Forget about we're in a pandemic, fine. COVID-19 grad, hey, it's a piece of cake. A piece of cake. Like I was talking to Dimas, when an island that experienced so much hurricanes and all this political atrocities and all of the stuff that happened. We overcame that. Guess what? We overcame it to the point that great artists comes out of there. You got Jose Feliciano. You got even J Lo, Jennifer Lopez, from she's from the Bronx. But you see the content now. You got Bad Bunny, one of the greatest selling artists and greatest artists, beautiful voice, Bad Bunny. You know what I'm saying? Coming out from the island of Puerto Rico, a lot of talent. Mark Anthony, oh my God, so many talent. I'm saying, coming from an island, a very small island like that. I'm showing Santo Domingo talent out of there. You know, 440, you know what I'm saying? Talent out of there. Fulanito, a lot of good talent out of there. Cuba, of course, all the talent coming out of Cuba. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we've been resistant. Even here in America, all this talent. I mean, you know what America has been through in these 200 plus years, almost close to 300 years. You know what America has been through, and still we're able to be leaders in the world of music. In a lot of industries. And so this is a piece of cake. We're gonna overcome this. This is a piece of cake. So let's, like Rico said, think about this. Come to unity, love. Tolerance for other people's differences is very important. When it comes to morality and those things that power. Us as musicians. We're able to harness those powers and express it. Peace. I see y'all. I'm out.